All right, I'll allow my sister to speak.
Yes, our people, the power of vision. We are trying to bring you up where your eyes can open and then you can see your tomorrow. The new and truly emancipated African nations. This is possible. This is doable. This is achievable. Open your eyes and look. You will see that it's possible. We can do this, people. There's power in having vision and then working towards it. So we'll get over to attributes and qualities of emerging African leaders. Attributes and qualities of emerging African leaders. These new and emerging African leaders we're talking about, what are their attributes? What qualities? Because you need to know who they are. You need to recognize them when you see them. Please, Sister Muna, the next slide. You need to know them. These are leaders who understand that land and power belong to the people. Sister Muna, please, the slide is not moving. Hello? Can you hear me? Sister Muna? The slideshow is not showing.
Okay.
Okay, so these leaders understand that the land and power belong to the people and that the people's sovereignty is tied to their ancestral lands. Of course, we know that just this thing I said are the tenets of self-determination and true democracy. So if anybody telling you, oh, democracy, and has refused to allow you to have sovereignty over your land, decide what happens on it and what happened with your resources, that person is not talking about democracy. He's talking about demon crazy. So please do not allow anyone to deceive you with these words they threw around. That's why we come here to share and break it down so that we understand what is being discussed. So it can be part of the discussion, can be part of the conversation going on, and you contribute meaningfully to it. The emerging leaders, we're talking about their attributes. These people accept that leaders are made by the people, not the other way around. The people are not working for the leaders. The leaders are working for the people because they are meant to represent to the people. So the people are the ones that will tell them what they will do, and then they will do it. That is what democracy is. That is what self-determination is. These leaders we're talking about recognize the setback of the transatlantic slave trade, the setback of colonialism, the setback of neo-colonialism on Africans, and then also on the indigenous ethnic nationalities. And they seek to undo all, not half, not one, not the other one. No, not let's leave it. It happened in the past. No. We have seen that what happens to you today will determine how your future will be. So you cannot afford to say something happened in the past, let's leave it. The people that colonize you do not operate like that. Those people that you're killing people and selling your land to buy their visa to go and visit them, that's not how they built their society. They did not build their society by suffering amnesia. We are talking about emerging leaders. So these leaders are willing to join in the current push, like my sister said earlier on, by the African indigenous ethnic nationalities to end all imposed colonial and imperial systems and structures in Africa. We'll give you an example. The 1884-85 conference, Berlin Conference boundaries. Those fake entities they created, they take Igbo, they add Hausa, they take Yoruba, mix it, Ngwongwo, Gwarakoya, give it a name. And then when the people are fighting, they say, oh, African, they're always fighting. These tribes, they're fighting. We are not tribes, we are nations. We were nations before you came. Another example of colonial structure is, and system, is 1914 forced amalgamation of Nigeria. It was forced. Nobody discussed with the people. They posed it on the people because they had ammunition to do that. Another one is the 1999 Colonial Unitary Constitution, which is a continuation of the first amalgamation, dispossessing the people, the peoples, of their sovereignty, their rights, and everything that they ought to manage. That wasn't what they had in mind when they say, okay, let's build a nation. So we're talking about the emerging leaders, their attributes. They are very knowledgeable about the importance of justice, equity, and fairness among all humans. They understand what it means. That without these things, the society cannot be a livable society. A society that does not uphold justice, equity, and fairness, there will be crime rates very high, because that's not how to operate. These people are willing to accept the concept of sanctity of life and equality of all men. Because if you understand and embrace the concept of sanctity of life and equality of all men, all wars and crises will end. Because no one is superior to the other. That you go and just jump up and start massacring people in the name of whatever. Be it your religion, stupid religion, be it your politics, be it anything that will make you to take away the life of another man or another woman, another child, it is not worth it. We are talking about leaders that will understand that human beings are not chickens or cows or goats that you just massacre on a daily basis, and people are moving on with their lives as if nothing is going on. We are talking about leaders that will understand and embrace the concepts of sanctity of life. We are talking about emerging African leaders. These people understand the negative impacts of extreme Islamism, Arabization. Yes, extreme Islamism is not anything bringing you close to God. It's the conquer of Arab nations on your land. That's what it is.
That's all it signifies.
That's what it is. These people understand the impact of terrorism. They understand the negative impact of whitewashed Christianity, whitewashed Christendom, the one we call Church of Rome, the one that preaches white supremacy. You can see all the discussion going on. Some people say, I don't want to know the color of God. I don't want to know the color of Yeshua. I don't want to know the color of Messiah. I just want to be a human being. You see what we're saying? Why the Bible said that people perish for lack of knowledge. Because if you don't know your shepherd, you don't know the voice, you don't know the nature, you don't know the identity, how do you follow him? How are you able to differentiate him from those that came to steal, kill, destroy?
I know. They can go a little to the left and a little to the right.
Okay. We are telling you that scriptures were manipulated to colonize you and steal your resources, even the resources in your brain, so that they can take the information inside your brain. So what you have, if you embrace this white Christianity, this whitewashed Christianity, what you have in your head is not brain, you have pap. Akamu. Akamu is what is inside your brain. So begin to remove the akamu that the whitewashed Christianity has put inside your head, so that you will see whether we can bring in brain, oboro, into it. The brain that can function. The paradox of Africa being one of the richest continents, if not the richest, while Africans are the most deprived, dejected, and humiliated human beings on earth, will be a major concern to this type of leaders we're talking about. And they will totally say this is unacceptable. And they will work towards it, so that Africa will be for Africans. African resources will be for African children. Africa will not be full of resources while African children go to bed hungry. These leaders will not worship other races or think that other races are superior to their own people and are more deserving of good life than Africans. These leaders will be willing to stand with the indigenous ethnic peoples of Africa so that we can get back what is rightfully theirs. We're talking about leaders, the emerging leaders, their attributes. These people know the effects of false democracy and unjust international diplomacy, unjust policies, unjust politics on African countries. Africa is supposed to be for Africans. But if Africa is no more for Africans, then something is wrong somewhere. These leaders, we understand that there's a game that was played. They will understand it. And not just understand it, but they will seek to undo it. These people are the people that understand that responsible governance and accountable leadership are not possible under the colonial imperial structures and constitutional arrangements imposed on Africans. And if these fundamental issues and setbacks are not tackled head-on, leaders with proven credibility, character, competence will never emerge to guide Africa to a brighter future. We're making this reference to P2B. He needs to be schooled on this because he thinks that from the blues, this type of leaders will appear. No, these people, even Jesus Christ, will not make Nigeria to be okay if these fundamental issues are not taken care of. Stop deceiving the people. Stop throwing around all these animal farm statistics, our brother Tony will say, and just talking because you feel like talking. These leaders are willing to openly declare that the only thing that will transition Africa from its current state of underdevelopment to a higher level of prosperity is immediate and complete decolonization. We're talking about the leaders that will take Africans to the next level. They are willing not only to acknowledge, but also they are ready and wholeheartedly ready to embrace the potential of nurturing and supporting other emerging leaders, the so-called leaders of tomorrow. That is, these type of leaders are not going to be leading in perpetuity. The new leaders emerging from Africa are those with vision, passion, commitment to their own people. They will become the beacon of hope that can drive change and propel their nations and their people and the entire Africa forward. So as we navigate through our current unprecedented challenges, these emerging leaders of Africa who have the potential for transformation and advancement are more willing than their predecessors to champion our collective cause rather than their personal goals and ambitions. We are talking about new emerging African leaders. These leaders, they have, as Africa has immense potentials waiting to be unlocked. Hence the need to empower and entrust capable and honest individuals whose leadership responsibilities show through their willingness to respect the will of their own people. They do not impose their will on their people, but they respect the will of their people. These people, if you bring it down to the issue in Nigeria, they are not the ones, they will not be talking about bogus restructuring of Nigeria or anything under the control of National Assembly or that National Assembly will make the decision, become the decision maker for the people. No, that's the old way of thinking. That's for the old African leaders that ruined Africa. People like Obasanjo, Gowon, all of them. That's the old school. We are talking about new African leaders. These ones will demand for renegotiation of Nigeria, since sovereignty belongs to indigenous ethnic nations. these people will avoid the trap of bogus restructuring and lead the people into renegotiating Nigeria, because renegotiating Nigeria is safer than restructuring Nigeria. What's the difference? To renegotiate Nigeria means deep fundamental change with sovereignty restoration. That's what renegotiation of Nigeria means. But restructuring that you're hearing these old African leaders throw around, it means surface cosmetic change. And the immigrant settler, the Fulani, the Caliphate, will continue their conquest agenda and domination over the people, over Hausa land, over the Yoruba, over all these people, massacring people and destroying them. So you see the difference. So these emergent leaders, we understand this. Overcoming white Arab supremacy, because that is what colonialism and all these things, that's what it's all about. And we want to decolonize, and Ninas is leading the